Good morning, dear students. This is Professor N. Sathya Krishna Sundar, guest lecturer, PG Department of English, Cardamom Planters Associations College, Bodinayakanur. Today we are going to look social history of England, which is called C paper. So this is the first slide talking about what is the early history of England. So you might have seen some countries name England, Wales, and North Atlantic oceans. That is a part of ocean here, Scotland. So this is history of England. How consider us entire Europe, but according to the England. So what are the deviations? What are the differences of countries? So one among the Scotland and another is called Wales. Then the England, the form of England. The besides the England here, French. So entire Europe is there, but particularly talking about the England. So the first early history of Britain is essentially history of invaders. So first English social history occurs in Britain is called the history of invaders. So they were talking about the Celts, Romans, Anglo-Saxons, and the Normans were few of the more important conquerors of England. So the Celts, Romans, Anglo-Saxons, and the Normans. Around 500 BC, the streams of invaders known as Celts. So here, very important points here. Celts arrived on the shores of England, the sea shores, in between the England sea shores. Celts arrived on the shores of England. They were made of the numerous tribes and invert English in waves. They were made numerous tribes because the tribes of English of the English Sea. So they were talking about the waves. The Britons came next to occupy most of present day England and Wales. The Britons came next and occupied most of present England and Wales. The name Britain is taken from his branch of Celts. So another important name word, the name Britain, the talking about the Britain is taken from his this branch of Celts. So here the Celtic language. So after the Celts, the Celtic language was spoken all over the country. Its origin of modern words is Gaelic words, another dialect of the Celts which is spoken in the Scotland. So particularly in Scotland, they were talking about the Celtic language. The people of used to talk Celtic language. The Iron Ages began after Celts settled down in Britain. The after the Celtic is gets over, then Iron Age began after Celts settled down in Britain. Their priest is called Druids, another important word, and you have to remember their priest is called Druids, while considerable power over the chieftains. The Celtic tribes settled in Ireland, Scotland, even as the Britons were struggling against them. A new danger appeared in the form of Anglo-Saxon sea rovers. So the Celtic tribes, they were tribes settled in Ireland and Scotland, and even the Britons were struggling against them because all the Britons is not famously known. The new danger appeared in the form of Anglo-Saxon sea rovers. So here, the Anglo-Saxons formed seven kingdoms of known as the Heptarch, the seven kingdoms. The Anglo-Saxons known as considerably seven kingdoms name. First one is called the Kent, second one is Essex, third one is Sussex, fourth one is Wessex, fifth one is East Anglia, sixth one is Mercia, seventh one is Northumbria. So Northumbria, it's a final part of seven kingdoms of North Anglo-Saxon time. The King Egbert of Wessex, who established the supremacy of his kingdom, is considered to be the first king of England. So the first king, according to the social history of England, the King Egbert of Essex. The King Egbert of Essex. So Egbert of Wessex, who established the supremacy of the kingdom, so he has been calling, or he has been he has been knowing to us that first king of England. The Anglo-Saxons had a great influence of Britons than the Romans. So Anglo-Saxons, the time they were conquering, they were talking about the very influenced people. English is derived from Anglo-Saxon language. So particularly saying English is talking about, English is arrived of coined the term English is derived from the Anglo-Saxon language. Anglo-Saxon is the part of language. The most famous of these is Beowulf. In Anglo-Saxon time, there were literary events also began. So Beowulf, another important work. It is the collections of pagan tales, the historical events containing more than 3,000 lines. So we were talking about in the history of English literature too. The first English poet known as the Cardamon. He was the first English poet who lived during the 600s. Augustinians built the monastery at Canterbury, preached Christianity in different parts of England. Another is the Augustine. Is Archbishop Augustine. He was the first Archbishop of Canterbury, the leader of Church of England. So this is how the social history emerged from the Anglo-Saxon time. Then the first English poet. After that, the who was the Wessex, who was the first English history king, the King Egbert. Yes, Wessex, who was the first king of England. So this is a very small presentation. Hope you enjoyed the sessions. Thank you, dear students. Have a nice day.